Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for our weekly series on how to live better with lupus. This week's topic is 6 things to avoid when living with autoimmune diseases. So it's not just specific for lupus this time, it's just straight across the board. This week's earrings are hand painted on denim. One side has the breast cancer awareness symbol, and the other side has fight. And I'm wearing a t-shirt by Shay Sharp's Pink Wishes. If you're not familiar with them, you can look them up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and they have a website. That organization was founded by a good friend of mine. So it's Women's History Month, and as planned, this month I'll be dedicating a series to women who have done amazing things, not just in history, but locally, nationally, and internationally. I had planned to interview a few women for this month, but today's interviews got rescheduled, so we'll have interviews starting next week. So today we're going to start with 6 things that you should avoid when living with autoimmune diseases. One of those things I've mentioned several times in other videos, which is sunlight. So if you live in a sunny area, you definitely want to be careful with the sunlight. I love the sun, but I'm also aware of what it does being in the sun too long. So I don't prolong my exposure to the sun. Another thing that I did not know about is garlic. So in reading and studying about autoimmune diseases and what to avoid, I found out about garlic. Like, oh, I use garlic in just about everything I cook. When I'm seasoning, chicken or, fish, I use garlic. So I chop up the garlic, mince garlic. Didn't even know that is something that can trigger flare ups. Another thing is melatonin. So, for people like myself who have insomnia and attempted to use over the counter sleep aid, don't. My rheumatologist actually told me a few years ago when I was having really, um, a lot of trouble sleeping, and I wanted to try something other than the prescribed stuff that they gave me that just had me worn out completely and I couldn't function. And she told me not to do melatonin because it was only going to trigger a flare up, and I was already flaring, so it would only make the situation worse. So if that's something that you've been doing and you notice that you're still flaring, that's probably one of the triggers. So you might want to look further into that. So we talked about sunlight, garlic, melatonin. This one I found out because, as you hear, my voice is a little raspy. Echinacea. I'm like, echinacea. So I've been eating lemon drop, echinacea, cough drops, and I had no idea that echinacea can cause flare ups. So that's something new that I can add to the things that I'm learning as I go along. Again, I'm still new to this autoimmune disease thing, so I'm still trying. It's still trial and error. So as I learn, I share with you so that you can take the proper precaution as you go about your daily routine and know what to stay away from. And it might not bother you, it might not affect you, but at least you know that you should be cautious of that, if anything. So echinacea came up as one of the things that you should avoid if you have autoimmune diseases. So whether it's lupus or Sjogren's or um, fibromyalgia, arthritis, whatever the case may be, it still falls under the autoimmune disease family. So you want to be careful with that. Alfalfa sprouts. Now that one I was told that it does trigger flare-ups from way back in 2013. So I knew about that one years ago, and I used to eat that, and I stayed away from it. I'm like, nope, I don't need no more help with the flare-ups that I'm already having. Excuse me. So I just know not to eat alfalfa sprouts. So that was something I stayed away from. So we talked about sunlight, garlic, melatonin, echinacea, and the last one is Bactrim. So that's an antibiotic that the doctors prescribe. So just make sure your doctors are familiar with your condition, even if you go to the ER, because sometimes in the ER they're not careful about what they give you. they just go through, and they're not as cautious and not fully aware, and they don't read your chart all the time. So again, I mentioned this before in another episode. You got to be your best advocate and know what you're being given and know when to say no to certain things. So know your body, know what you can and cannot take. So melatonin, garlic, echinacea, what I say, sunlight, Bactrim, alfalfa, and what was the last one? I forgot. Echinacea. So you want to stay away from those 6 things as much as possible, and just make sure that even if they don't bother you right now, that at least you're aware of those things to highlight as you go about your daily routine. So until next time, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. I hope these videos are helping you. If you haven't seen the other videos, you could go back and check them out on my channel. I come to you weekly. Every Thursday, I upload something new. And if you would like to be interviewed, if you're in the Baltimore, Maryland area, and you would like to be interviewed for our channel to share your story about how lupus has wrecked or changed your life, it wrecked mine, but it changed it for the better. I never would have thought that I could say that lupus made me better. So if you have a story that you want to share, you can email me at beadlyspeaking.com. I'm sorry, beadlyspeaking@gmail.com, and I will reach out to you and we can set up an interview where we can sit down and talk and get it going. The more we share what lupus is and how it affects other people, there's so many ways and different types of lupus. So the more information that gets out there, the better it is. Help people to become more informed, more compassionate. And again, it's Women's History Month, so I would love to meet and talk with as many women as possible this month. Until next time, don't forget to keep loving on you, and God bless.